Okay, so I just have a couple of potatoes here and I'm just gonna go ahead and boil these. Okay, while that's boiling, I am going to start working on my dough. I'm taking 4 cups of atta. You can also use all-purpose flour if that's all you have. So I'm just using Golden Temple atta. So this is just roughly 4 cups. And to that, I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt. Okay, I'm just gonna combine the salt. And then we're gonna start pouring in our water. I have about 2 cups of water here, and I'm just gonna gently pour it in. A little bit at a time. I'm just gonna combine with the fork for now. You can use your hands if you like. Okay, it's looking good. I'm just gonna add the rest of the water. I still have a little bit left, and now I'm gonna go in with my hands. Okay, you can see that it's coming together, but we still have a lot of loose flour. So we're definitely gonna need a little bit more water. Okay, putting that to a side and then adding the remaining water. We might need a little bit more than 2 cups, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've been kneading the dough for about 5 minutes and this is how it's looking. It's actually perfect. I didn't have to add any more water. I'm gonna put it in a container, cover it, and let it rest. Okay, so my potatoes are done. I just finished peeling them. I'm just gonna mash them a little bit before I add the rest of the ingredients. So just mash them while they're still hot because it's so much easier. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 finely chopped onion. Okay. Also adding some finely chopped green chilies. These ones are not spicy at all. It's just more for flavor. So we'll put that in there. And then I have about 1 to 2 tablespoons of coriander, finely chopped. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and combine everything. Okay, who am I kidding? I'm gonna use my hands. Okay, and once this is like completely mixed in, we're gonna set this aside and let it just cool down. Okay, so while that's cooling down, I just popped it in the fridge so it's faster. Okay, I'm just putting a little bit of atta down on the counter. It's just the easiest way. Just easier to work on the counter. Have a lot more space. And then I'm gonna grab my atta. It's a little sticky. That's why we're flouring the surface. And then we're gonna go ahead and place this here. I'm also gonna flour my hands a little so it doesn't stick to my hands. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this into equal parts. I'm just gonna round them off like so. Some of them are a little bit bigger than the others, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. Now this is the way my mom always made roti or parathe, so I'm just gonna do the same way. I've tried other methods. It's just this is the best way to get it super round. So I'm just gonna do this. Then when it's into this shape, we're gonna fold it kind of like this, almost like a snake. And then I'm gonna put the top back on like that, press it down, and it should look something like this. And then I'm just gonna push it down with my thumb to flatten it out a little bit more, like this. Okay, usually at this point you want to add a little bit of flour. But since we're making parathe and I need it slightly sticky to be able to seal it once it's stuffed, you're gonna keep it like this. Just gonna gently press it out with our fingers to make it a little bit wider. You can use a rolling pin if you like. Once it's about this big, this is a good size, I think. A little bit bigger than my palm. See how perfectly round that is? Hopefully we can get our parathas this round as well. So there are two different ways to stuff your parathe. The way I grew up with, the way my mom used to do it, she would take one of these and then she would put her filling in here, and then she would take another and then top it and then seal the sides and then roll it out like that. The way I'm going to show you guys is a little bit simpler, but if you think that works for you, then go with that. Okay, so I just grabbed my mixture, my potato filling, and grab your filling with a spoon, place it in the center. If you're a beginner, I highly recommend not overstuffing it, but add as much as you like. I feel like this is about good. And then you can just grab and start sealing and pinching the sides like so. Kind of, you know, get this little like dumpling shape. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm just gonna squeeze it together so it's nicely sealed, and try to keep it as round as possible, like so. And it's gonna look something like this. The reason I didn't put atta on the dough is because we needed to seal this, and see how we were able to seal it really nicely because the dough is still sticky and there's no atta on it. Yeah, so something like this. Now at this point, sorry, just gonna make some space. I have a little bit of like, there's atta sitting in this little container. I'm gonna go ahead and now dip it in the atta, press it down gently, like so. Just cover both sides so it's easy to work with. I'm gonna round it like this so we can get the edges, and then you can always dust the excess off. Okay, oops, this is ready to go. Now you can flatten it out with your fingers as much as possible, And don't worry about these little, like, you're gonna get these little holes. We can patch it with a little bit of flour. Yeah, that's it. It's pretty simple. I like this method better because that way you get the filling all the way to the edges. There we go. And then you can use a rolling pin and roll it out, or you can do it with your fingers, whatever you like. I'm just gonna work really gently with it. We don't want it to explode. We don't want this filling to come out. So gently. At any point, if you feel like you need more atta, you can just patch it a little bit here and there. But literally every aloo paratha has like a tear or like a hole because you have things inside. Sometimes it just rips through. No worries, you haven't destroyed it or anything. And I'm gonna gently roll it out. I'm barely applying any pressure. It should be very simple, very easy to roll. Flip gently. Nice. I'm gonna add a little more atta. Okay, that's it. It's ready to go. I don't have a tawa for roti, so I'm just using this large skillet that I have. If you guys have a skillet or a large frying pan, you can just use that. And I'm just gonna heat this up. Make sure this is like nice and hot before you put the paratha on there. Okay, so we're just gonna let that cook for a little bit until we see the top changing in color a little bit. Okay, so now that's kind of changed color on top a little bit. That took about a minute. I'm just gonna flip it. With that, we're gonna add ghee. I'm using this one right here. About this much ghee. We're just gonna add it on top. If you don't have ghee, you can go ahead and use butter or you can use oil. But honestly, ghee's gonna give it like the best flavor. Okay, that looks good on this side, so I'm just gonna flip it again. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of ghee on this side as well. So this paratha took about 4 minutes, 2 minutes on each side. I have it on medium heat.